Hello, my name is Kelsey Peterson, and for my legal topic presentation, I will be talking about discrimination, particularly discrimination in the workplace. Some of the topics I will be discussing are the definition of discrimination, types of discrimination, history of employment discrimination, where discrimination can occur, who is protected by the laws, and a couple of the popular court cases involving discrimination. Most of us know that discrimination is either singling out or making a distinction between a person or a group of people. It is unfair or unequal treatment of a group or an individual, or when you dislike a group based on characteristics such as gender, age, or religion. The types of discrimination are as followed, but are not limited to age, disability, ethnicity, gender, marital status, race, religion, and sexual orientation. These are all things people are discriminated against every day in and out of the workplace. Due to discrimination in the workplace, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was put into place, which is a federal law that prohibits employers from discriminating against employees on the basis of sex, religion, race, origin, and color. You can't hire or fire people based on these descriptions, and based on sex, you have to give equal pay. Discrimination can happen in many places, and you may have had this happen to you in a place where you are educated, such as schools, a place of employment, when you're applying for homes or places to rent, government benefits and services, healthcare services, and transportation are all places that discrimination may occur. Who is protected from discrimination in the workplace? Everyone. You cannot be discriminated against. It is a federal law if an employer discriminates against you. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or the EEOC, enforced a federal law that makes it illegal to discriminate against a job applicant or an employee because of the person's race, color, religion, sex, including pregnancy, gender, identity, and sexual orientation, anyone who is over the age of 40, disability, or genetic information. So, for any of those reasons, an employer cannot discriminate against an applicant or an employee. It is also illegal to discriminate against a person because they filed a complaint if they said they were discriminated against. Title VII applies to employers with 15 or more employees as well as labor unions um, and labor unions that operate hiring halls, employment agencies, state and local government units, or agencies. This comes from our book, Fundamentals of Business Law by Roger Miller, on page 429 under the Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. I was surfing the internet to find a couple examples of right and wrong in discrimination, and on civilrights.findlaws.com I found two examples. One is okay and one is not okay of discrimination. So for the first example, it was talking about a owner of two dogs who applied for a lease, leasing an apartment from a landlord. The landlord found out that the applicant had dogs and refused to lease the apartment to the person because they didn't want dogs in the apartment, which is okay because that is the landlord's rights to refuse because of pet and any applicants who own pets. Example 2 was about an African American man who filed an application to lease the same apartment from a landlord. And upon learning that the applicant was African American, the landlord refused to lease the apartment to him because he preferred to have a Caucasian applicant or tenant. And in this case, that is wrong. You cannot discriminate against a person because of their skin color. I thought these were great examples of discrimination and hope these help you as well. I was doing research on court cases regarding employment discrimination, and one of them that I came across was Butler versus Home Depot Incorporation. Um, this was on behalf of a female employee who was discriminated against, and she was awarded $87.5 million for her discrimination. And then Home Depot ended up making changes and hired more women throughout the company after this took place. She said that her male coworkers would bring her down because of her being a woman, and that is not okay because of discrimination laws. Another one was the Ford employer harassment. This just happened recently here in Michigan. A man was abused at work because of his Arabian background and accent. He was also awarded money uh, because of what happened to him, and he was awarded $17 million. So this just shows you that it's not okay to harass or discriminate against people, and there are serious consequences if you do. Maybe you or someone you know have been discriminated against for various reasons at your workplace or even outside of work. But now knowing the definition of discrimination, types of discrimination, a little bit of history on it, where it can occur, who is protected and how you can be protected, and a couple of the court cases that involve workplace discrimination, maybe this will help you and you can step up and be the voice that needs to be heard to end discrimination. Thank you.